The social media app with over 150 million active users could be banned by the U.S. government. Speaker Kevin McCarthy says the House will move forward with the proposed TikTok ban bill. A source close to TikTok's parent company, ByteDance, says the Biden administration gave the company an ultimatum: sell the company's app or be banned nationwide. Members of Congress have long been concerned about the security of the Chinese-owned app. And tonight, we're learning that a ban on TikTok could hurt local businesses. Our Morgan Scott reports.
TikTok, an app that allows users to create, share, and watch videos from 15 seconds up to 10 minutes, has consistently attracted millions of users since its rebranding and massive reach during the pandemic. It's because of TikTok's success that now users say they are not willing to let the app go so easily. In today's era, it's nearly impossible to avoid using a social media app. And for some local businesses like 210 Teas in downtown Syracuse, the owner says platforms like TikTok can help to grow her business.
Close to 100% of the following that I have amassed has been due to social media. Most of my marketing is done on social media. I meet new customers on social media. I show what the shop looks like on social media. So it's a really, really critical tool for the success of my business.
But for lawmakers in D.C., TikTok poses a threat to national security, and there are concerns of surveillance data being collected because of the app's parent company, ByteDance, a Chinese-based technology company.
We do not trust TikTok will ever embrace American values. TikTok has repeatedly chosen the path for more control, more surveillance, and more manipulation. Your platform should be banned.
It's been a little more than a year since Cassia opened 210 Teas with the goal to create an at-home feel for customers, many who find out about the shop through TikTok. She says a ban on the app should not be the only option.
I think there's other ways social media or data privacy could be protected that don't just result in restriction of something that could be otherwise useful in different areas like researching.
TikTok CEO tells Congress the app does not collect any more data than any other social media app used by Americans, and he wants to reassure lawmakers that there will be no access by the Chinese government.
We will firewall protected U.S. data from unwanted foreign access. The bottom line is this: American data stored on American soil by an American company, overseen by American personnel.
The future of TikTok and its use in the U.S. remains uncertain, but it's clear that its 150 million users will have a hard time if the ban does go through.
But first, the search is on for a suspect after a mother and her son were abducted from a Rochester home early this morning, causing an Amber Alert to be activated. Thankfully, the two were found safe this afternoon. Police now asking for the community's help to find whoever is responsible.
Just because we found the mom and the child does not mean that this situation is over. Right? This is a heinous crime that was committed in our city. A 4-year-old child was forcibly abducted with his mother. So we had two people that were forcibly abducted.
Good evening. I'm Carla Rogener in for Sam. The 4-year-old boy and his mother were found safe and unharmed this afternoon, 14 hours after police say they were forcefully abducted. Police issued an Amber Alert fearing the two were in danger. Authorities saying it was the help of the community that led them to locate the two victims at a home on Reynolds Street this afternoon. 13 WHAM's Jackie Napier has more on this ongoing investigation.
Around 1:30 Saturday morning, police responded to a call of shots fired on Lake Avenue. There, they located a man who said he had been chased and shot at following an altercation at a home on Fulton Avenue. Soon after, it was discovered a 4-year-old boy and his mom, who had both been in the house on Fulton Avenue, were missing.
At which point we gathered information that they had been abducted, forcibly abducted from the house on Fulton Avenue.
Police then identified a house on Kenwood Avenue as a possible location for the mother and son.
Our SWAT team made entry, and unfortunately, we were unable to locate the child or the mother at that location on Kenwood Avenue. An Amber Alert was then issued based upon this being an abduction, and we hadn't been able to locate the kids immediately.
Following that alert, RPD received tips from the community that ultimately led them to the home on Reynolds Street, where the two were found unharmed.
Just because we found the mom and the child does not mean that this situation is over. Right? This is a heinous crime that was committed in our city. Obviously, the child is physically safe, but I can't even imagine the emotional unsafeness, right? The emotional issues that this child and this mother are going to go through coming out of this.
And again, no suspects have been arrested. Rochester police are asking anyone with information or neighbors who can share surveillance video to call 911.
Good morning. We're joined today by Lieutenant Malinowski with the Syracuse Police Department. Lieutenant Malinowski, thanks for being here this morning.
Good morning. Happy to be here as always.
So a county legislator, Charles Garland, is calling for more police cameras on the south side after he claims that his mom's house was struck by gunfire. So what is the department's stance on adding more cameras, and what, if anything, may be preventing you from doing so?
Yeah, so as a police department, we've seen a ton of value in those cops cameras. You can see them throughout the city. They have those blue blinking lights. It's been an invaluable tool, especially when we have cases where we don't get much cooperation from citizens. We're actually able to watch cameras and solve these cases. I know people want them in every neighborhood. The thing that we had some challenges coming through COVID, some supply chain issues. These cameras, we can't just put them up ourselves. We actually have to work with the power company. We have to work with our internet companies to get the connections. So there is a little bit of delay, but we're a big supporter and we want to put them up. The biggest thing, if you want these cameras in your community, reaching out to your lawmakers and pushing for the funding. But we do have some grants that we've applied for, and we're putting up over 25 cameras in one of our highest gun crime areas. So we do continue to put these up. We're a big supporter for them. And again, if you want those in the community, letting us know where, and we'll continue to do that.
All righty, perfect. And you know, obviously from our discussions about porch pirates to whatever else, crime is an issue, and people trying to thwart the criminals are putting up Ring doorbells. But now there's a new issue with the Ring cameras.
Yeah, so we've been saying get the Ring cameras or a similar type product. Huge. We big advocates for having cameras, lighting, things like that. But what now we're seeing is that the people that are committing these crimes are just ripping those cameras off. So one piece of advice, and again, we always have to try to outsmart the criminals, is if you're going to do one of those cameras, best to place it's out of reach so people can't just pull it down. That would be one of our biggest advice with that. So the Ring cameras are great, but if you really want that extra protection, trying to get that camera, again, high enough to where someone can't rip it off. It's kind of a silly approach though, because the footage is on a cloud. It's not actually contained in the Ring doorbell, so I don't know why they're ripping them off, but just be advised that that's now what people are doing, unfortunately.
You'd still be caught ripping the camera off.
Right, yeah, we're still going to see your face.
All righty, and then obviously, all the time I'm asking for community input. We actually had a viewer write in asking a question. The next question we have is from one of our viewers, Katie. She says police work is very taxing mentally, physically, and emotionally, and she wants to know how the department practices self-care.
Well, so I love that question, and I think that, you know, city police, we definitely deal with a lot, but I would say first responders all around, if you talk from fire, EMS, but even like, say, professions like nursing and the medical field. You know, the average person getting cut off in traffic might be their most stressful thing that happened to them that week or that month or even that year, but our first responders go through that high stress sometimes multiple times a day to deal with that. So at least from a police standpoint, we have an officer wellness person that's their job is just to try to promote things that help out our officers. And one of the things we did recently was have, you know, a remote heart care clinic came in and tested some of our officers and their wellness and things like that, and just encouraging other programs internally in the department to make sure our officers are being safe and healthy.
All righty. Well, Lieutenant Malinowski, thanks for being here this morning.
Yep, thank you.
Do you have a question you'd like me to ask law enforcement? Well, I'd love to hear it. You can connect with me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, or email.